Welcome to Dante's Harmony podcast, your source for music mentoring and motivation. Join me, Dante Harmon, a multi-instrumentalist, recent inductee into the Sacred Steel Hall of Fame, and newly inducted Grammy voting member, as I host a podcast spotlighting sacred steel musicians from all across the nation and abroad. Dante's Harmony podcast provides insightful interviews, exclusive music, untold history, and so much more. Wow, I don't even know how to start or where to start on this particular podcast, but this is going to be the first of a mini series that I call the Harmonic Solo podcast segment, the Harmonic Solo, if you will, where I'm just going to talk and just kind of, give some insight or motivation or some mentoring, talk about some music, but do it in a solo fashion. So I call it, the Harmonic Solo portion of Dante's Harmony. So in this first ever Harmonic Solo episode, I want to talk about the Sacred Steel Summit. I am still on a high from that event in White Springs, Florida, and how amazing it turned out. Let me tell you, it was just flat out awesome, amazing. The fellowship, the love, I called it a 3-day tent revival. It was just off the chains. So I can't start this off by, first of all, giving praise to God Almighty for just allowing it to be what it was, what it is, and just the turnout. Oh my goodness, it was phenomenal. Everything that we could have done and more. There's so much I'm gonna cover in a small amount of time, but I just wanted to express my sentiments, first of all, with the producer, the man with the plan, affectionately called Uncle, Uncle Al, Alvin Lee, who basically single-handedly, with, of course, the committee, which I'm going to talk about in a second, but single-handedly, his passion, his drive, his Alvin's just passion to see this Sacred Steel Summit not only be brought back to life, but to give it what it needed after such a long time. It's been so many years that the Sacred Steel players have gotten together and that we've gathered together to just do something that was worthwhile, brought us together where we were able to record, play, gel off of each other, and just have amazing fun. It's been years. It's been some years. And since the pandemic and everybody's isolated and no one's able to go anywhere, this was like our coming out party, if you will. Alvin, I don't know how to say thank you. I don't know how to say, wow, your passion, the drive, the countless nights that we both stayed up talking, gathering, trying to put things together, you along with your wife, Tina, and the committee, it paid off. It really, really paid off. This event, the Sacred Steel Summit, which was held in White Springs, Florida over Memorial Day weekend, was absolutely amazing. And I just want to let you know, for those of you all that are listening for the first time to Dante's Harmony podcast, you might want to stay tuned for next year's events. There's no telling what's going to happen. If you want to stay plugged in, please go to our Facebook page. Just type in the search Sacred Steel Summit. You'll see a logo and you'll know you're in the right place. You will see some clips. You'll see some awesome steel guitar playing, and you're in the right place. Let me tell you again, Alvin, I can't overemphasize the significance and impact that you had in your heart for this event to just exude out the way it did. Thank you. Thank you so much. Before I can even get into all the things that happened, I just want to just thank the team of organizers for the summit. I don't want to call everyone by name because I'm going to miss somebody and I'm going to get in trouble. But there were so many people, notably behind the scenes, that just did the work that it took to pull this off. Notably, Mike on our sound. Oh my goodness. Phenomenal. His whole team of engineers and mixers and just sound, it was just amazing. It made us want to play. And whenever we went somewhere that those guys weren't running sound, we could tell the difference. So thank you, Mike. Mike and your team, you guys did it. Kiki, oh my goodness. I mean, we were going back and forth on our lives, and even sometimes phone calls and text messages. But man, organizing this event was not easy. There were a lot of musicians who did not show. There were a lot of musicians who did come. There are a lot of things that just did not happen. And that takes a lot of work for the organizers in the background to really, really assemble their time, their effort, and assemble the team for this summit to make all the things that needed to happen. Kiki played an intricate part, along with Alvin's wife, Tina, and Robin. See, I'm calling names. I'm going to get in trouble. The program, the Kiki's organization and just planning all the way through, it was so heartfelt. Everything that was done, with Alvin's wife, Tina, who was there throughout the whole ordeal. I'm sure she saw it all. Tina told me, she talked to me, she texted me, she says, Dante, I need you to handle Al. I said, I got you. Because he was all over the place, and rightfully so, because it's such a passion of his and mine as well. But to pull this off without the team of organizers, it would not happen. They brought some amazing people with them. And again, I don't want to call names, but you know who you are. And thank you. You all made it so easy for us to play, to do our workshops, to transition between events, to segue or have segments that needed to be input, sticking musicians here and there. You all made it happen for us to keep us on our toes. And without your cooperation and your expertise in your areas, it would not have gone like it did. So thank you. Gosh, okay, so I went through my introduction. Okay, went behind the organizing of the event. And let me tell you guys something. For those of you all that are organizers and that you organize events, plan ahead. One thing I'm so grateful for with this event is that Alvin, he planned ahead. And although there are certain things that we still want to make happen, over time, things get better. And, for this to be the first time in a long time, this was amazing. It was remarkable. And I'm excited to have been a part of an amazing team. Not only amazing team of behind the scenes organizers with the event, with Uncle Al, but to just be a part of it as a musician. I can say so much about it, but it was just amazing. So again, thank you. And for those of you all, again, that want to plan these activities, start early. I don't care if it's a year out, if it's 9 months out, start early. Assemble a team. And listen, your team does not look like you. Your team will not look like you. If you are not good at marketing, you need a marketing person. If you're not good at technical, whatever it is technical that needs to be done, you need a techie person on your team. Whatever it is that you're seeking to do, or whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, assemble your team and plan ahead. It really makes a difference in whatever it is that you're trying to do. All right, so behind the scenes, organize the event. Here's the next thing I want to talk about, the legends. Oh my goodness. So every living legend, I want, not every, I shouldn't say every, but most of the living legends on the Keith Dominion side of the sacred steel tradition. And again, there's so many musicians and there's so much history with our organization that we came out of the House of God Church, Keith Dominion and Jewel Dominion, Church of the Living God, and there are musicians on both sides. And this is something that we all do and we all do together. For this particular event, we didn't have a lot of Jewel Dominion players, but the players that we did have that came aboard and as far as legends that participated, everyone was there. Aubrey Gent, Ted Beard, Calvin Cook, Chuck Campbell, Lonnie Bennett. These guys not only are still living, but we consider them like, just Hall of Fame legends. These guys paved the way for me, paved the way for the likes of Robert Randolph, Roosevelt Collier, AJ Gent, who's third generation. AJ Gent, his father, Aubrey Gent, his father, Henry Nelson. This music is not going anywhere. And what a remarkable gathering of legends that came. And not only did they come, but they participated, they played, and they were amazing. They were all amazing. There were so many moments, that we all had with the legends. Each person their own. There was something that, I can just say something about every one of them. I got a chance to play drums again with Ted Beard. I was able to see Chuck Campbell. And for those of you all that didn't know, Chuck was sick and we didn't think he was going to come. And not only did he come, but he gave his amazing testimony, which touched the heart of everyone that was there. So Calvin Cook, oh my goodness, he assembled his set, which was just, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but which was so amazing. Of all of the players that he got together to play with him that particular night of the Sacred Steel Summit with the legends. My goodness, Calvin is one of those, he just doesn't lose a beat. Calvin sounds like he did 30-40 years ago. If you were to listen to a tape of Calvin and listen to him now, you could not tell the difference. He's just that versed and just that on point, with his playing. Chuck Campbell, again, he gave his testimony and also played. Aubrey Gent. Not only did Aubrey Gent play, but there was a surprise guest that came, and it knocked everyone out, when this person came. I should say when the persons of Susan Tedeschi and Derek Trucks came and made their special guest appearance. And I'm going to talk about that in a second, but Lonnie Bennett. So I have to say this. I talked about all the legends, and I want to put some emphasis on Lonnie Bennett. I got to talk to everyone, got to talk to Aubrey, got a chance when Aubrey pulled up to the hotel. The driver had his amp in the car, and of course, he's up in age, he can't lift, and I was honored to be able to go out, get his amp out, and push it in, roll it in for him. As a musician, I one thing I model myself or I like to talk about, and I want to say this to a lot of the young musicians: serve those that have paved the way for you. Serve those guys that have opened doors that you don't even know they opened. Find a way to connect and pay homage back to them. If it's just something as simple as getting their amp, holding their guitar, carrying their bags, whatever it is, do it. I don't, sometimes you can say thank you in a lot of ways, but serving is probably one of the best ways to pay homage and say thank. But one of the notable players, I should say legends, that I had an honor to spend some time with was Lonnie Bennett. Lonnie, we were all at the same hotel, which was so unique within itself. Lonnie, there was about maybe a 15-minute ride from the hotel to the actual venue in White Springs, Florida. And I was privy to every day play chauffeur, if you will, to Lonnie. And our conversations for 15 minutes coming and going were just uncanny. They were remarkable wisdom sessions, insightful sessions. I'm a student all over again, sitting at the table, sitting at the feet of a master musician, a master teacher, someone who has experience in something that I'm still climbing, understanding, and trying to obtain, just all kind of nuggets from him, trying to get to that place that he is. My goodness, I was able to just hear some stories that were just remarkable. I'm probably going to do a segment to just highlight some of those stories that he talked about, that he was able to share with me, the lessons I learned just from hearing it. So the legends, I call it the Legends Unite. It was amazing to see all of the living legends there. I should say almost all of the living legends there, because we have so many legends within the Sacred Steel style of music. And again, I don't want to leave anyone out, but with the Keith Dominion side of things, I should say most of those legends were represented. Jewel Dominion side, again, a lot of those musicians weren't there, and we're going to get them there next year. I'm excited because, where the church was divided, the music wasn't. Where the church was, split and still is split, we're not, where there was, division, we unified, in so many different ways. And this wasn't the first time. Gosh, even the first Sacred Steel recording that we did, we were all together. So that's just a whole nother conversation. So, okay, we went behind the scenes. We talked about the legends. So our unexpected guests, gosh, Susan Tedeschi and Derek Trucks. That was an amazing surprise. Roosevelt Collier of the Lee Boys, who's his own just amazing artist right now. He's out just traveling. I think at the time he had just gotten back from Africa, made a call to let Derek Trucks know, hey man, everybody's in Florida. You might want to pull up. And what did he do? He showed up, him and his wife, to our event. Derek was married. Derek Trucks and Susan Tedeschi was married by Aubrey Gent, who's one of our living legends. And they have a relationship, and Derek so admires Aubrey Gent's playing and his style, and you can hear it in Derek Trucks playing. You can hear the Sacred Steel sound in Derek Trucks playing. And oh my goodness, Susan Tedeschi, when she came and when she embarked and embraced the microphone with her vocals, oh my goodness, instantly tent revival. She sung so soulfully and with so much passion and heart. It was just such a surprise. It was such a moving moment. So much so that the Florida Folklife Festival had to intervene and get security involved at our particular tent for that particular evening of the event. But to have such a guest in the name of Derek Trucks and Susan Tedeschi to come and surprise us with their appearance, it was amazing. And I think it's shocked the Florida Folk Festival just to have them present. And they showed up, no contract. They just wanted to be there. They just wanted to be. How many artists do you know would just pull up over something or someone that they admire, or something that they've been given, or a sound, or a musician, or a Sacred Steel in this particular case, this Sacred Steel sound that has been so resounding within this nation and abroad, and have the likes of Derek Trucks and his wife show up, Susan, to show up and to pay homage to something in us, to us, to Aubrey, to the legends, to Calvin, to Ted, to Chuck, to Lonnie, to all these guys who paved the way for even the likes of Derek Trucks. He came as even and played Can I say that? Not only did he come, not only did he show up, not only did Susan show up, she sung and he played multiple sets, took pictures. Derek and I, we hadn't seen each other since 2017. So we were on, so let me tell this brief story. In 2016, I was blessed to not only be at the 10:30 show of Prince and the piano tour that he did, but I was able to appear center stage, if you will, in the balcony of the Fox Theater, in the balcony section. I'm, center, looking down upon one of the best artists to ever grace any stage, Prince. And it was a so real moment. I'd never been to a Prince concert. I never seen Prince live, but he's one of my most admired musicians. Why? Because he's a multi-instrumentalist. I can relate to him. He plays everything, I play everything, and it's such a cool thing. Well, that was 2016. It was April 2016, and of course you all would know later on that month he would pass away right before my birthday. So it really had me like, wow. But I was so grateful to see him live, and he put on an amazing show with just him and a piano and a stage. It was amazing. I'll never forget it. I'm sitting in my studio right now looking at the CD that was given, the ticket. I still have my ticket stub from that concert. Never, it's framed. It will never go away. Like it's golden. So that was 2016. I'm in the audience, in the balcony of the Fox Theater in Atlanta, watching Prince give his last performance. A year later, I'd go to the same Fox Theater, except I'm on stage as a performer with who? Colonel Bruce Hampton at his 70th birthday celebration. Ironically, who's there at this celebration? Not only the likes of the late Derek Campbell, Joey Somerville, and so many other great musicians, but Derek Trucks was there, and that was the first time Derek and I met at the Fox Theater, on stage behind in the backstage with Colonel Bruce, taking pictures and just kind of hanging out. I got a chance to talk with them and take some pictures and just have some good conversation. But that was the last time I saw Derek. And ironically, on that same stage during the finale, Colonel Bruce Hampton would pass away at the age of 70. We went to I think it was the after party at Terminal West, and we just our phones started blowing up about Colonel Bruce, and we were just in disbelief of what happened, during the finale. If you guys never heard this story, go look it up. Colonel Bruce, Fox Theater. It was an amazing event. It was a celebration, if you will, and he got to witness it all. But that was the last time I would see Derek Trucks. And fast forward, he remembered. He came up to me and he said, I was just thinking about him today. I said, wow. So and we both laughed because he says, he would have gone crazy if he was here. I said, you already know he's doing it right now. So he was really, I'm trying to think of the word, because Colonel Bruce had such a drive when it came to Sacred Steel, notably the Campbell Brothers. He heard a record of the Campbell Brothers and he went crazy. He thought it was the best thing he's ever heard. And to hear him talk about it and hear his story, the late Colonel Bruce Hampton's story about it, is just amazing. And to have that conversation with him and he talk about it the way he did, amazing. So Derek and I, we had a good laugh, and we know that Colonel Bruce, he would have been, he's already in sacred steel heaven, just smiling down at the moment that we had together. Susan and Derek, we thank you for coming out and just embracing us and saying thank you in such a way, by paying homage to the sound that helped shape you as a musician. Thank you for coming back to just say thank you to those that help you along the way. That was honorable. That was very honorable. So, okay, let me see where I'm at on my list here, because I don't want to miss out anything. All right, so we talked about our unexpected guest, our special guest. We talked about the legends behind the scenes. Okay, so workshops. We had amazing workshops. I was able to do one, and there were so many technique, skills, insights that were shared, not only from the legends but from the players. And it was so unique. We even had one, so that we have two remarkable left-handed pedal steel guitar players who were able not only to play a set together, but they did a workshop together, in the likes of Dave Fonville and Anthony Fox out of South Carolina. So those guys were phenomenal. And again, these workshops were just really hands-on, empowering, just giving out, valuable skills, techniques, insights, just some behind the scenes stuff as it relates to sacred steel and the sacred steel tradition. Again, you don't want to miss next year. You want to make sure that you get your ticket to attend. Stay plugged in with our Sacred Steel Summit page, which is on Facebook. If you go to Facebook, just type in the word Sacred Steel Summit. You'll find us there. You want to stay plugged in, because I promise you there's going to be even more next year. So there's a lot of knowledge exchanged with these empowering workshops that were held. Again, some of the legends were talking. One unique particular session with the legends was between Calvin Cook and Lonnie Bennett. And there was another surprise guest that we weren't expecting to come, but he showed up. So one of the legend guitar players within our tradition was Kenny Ellis. Kenny Ellis, and he's out of Sarasota, Florida. He showed up. Him and his wife, they came, and Calvin, before he did his workshop, he says, I want Kenny up here with me. I want Kenny to play the guitar with me, because I'm showing some things, and I want to do it with him playing behind me. I said, Calvin, we're gonna make it happen. And we got an extra amp up there with him and Lonnie Bennett, and we were able to fulfill his request. And this is the kind of thing that you would expect. The unexpected, right? At Sacred Steel Summit. That was just one of many things that happened. So, empowering workshops. So I'm moving on. I'm almost finished. The unity and camaraderie within the sacred steel tradition. Listen, there were so many awesome players that showed up at the Sacred Steel Summit. And I think the amazing thing with the musicians that show up and that come and that embrace the stage and play, you from the likes of Tommy Phillips, Tim Williams, Terrell King, of course the Lee Boys. Listen, Nikki D showed up and showed completely out. Her vocal skills, her playing skills, she was just like the hype person for our event. Nikki, it's so funny, because when Nikki D saw me, we gave each other the biggest hug, and we embraced each other, and it was just such a moment. And immediately she says, "You're twin. You're my twin. Twin. That's what I'm calling you, twin." Immediately she came up with the nickname. So Nikki D, you guys look her up. Phenomenal sacred steel player, phenomenal person. Her sister, they were just so amazing, and to meet them for the very first time was awesome. Kashaya Hunter, oh my goodness, Frank Owens. Frank did some workshops that just blew everybody away, and his Frank's knowledge and theory that sometimes a lot of the musicians did not understand. He was able to break down a lot of things. There was so much happening, and these awesome players coming together: Brian Bird, Brian Taylor, Dan Tyak, Eric Lewis. You know, Dan is such a, Dan would give his testimony, and he would talk about, you know, his first time attending and how he met some of the legends of the sacred steel tradition, and how it came to be, along with Eric Lewis. We were just so like, we told him that, like, you guys are family. You guys are brothers. So it was that type of ordeal. Deshaun Hickman, again, Dave Fonville. These guys are just simply amazing. Aaron Hines. I promise you I'm going to leave somebody out. Gary, Fat Man McKinney. We call him Fat Man. I mean, these guys just really showed up and showed out. Dominique Collins. Man, there were so many musicians that were there. Rodney E-Man Davis. These guys are just like, for the first time I got a chance to hear these guys play together. And here's the interesting thing. They were matched with other steel players who've never played with each other before. So we had sessions that would put them together, that would put them on stage with other musicians that were doing what we knew they were capable and able to do with each other, and that was to gel and to come up with some grooves and to come up with certain things that we knew that they can actually accomplish and do. So it was amazing just to have the camaraderie there with the other with the musicians that were there. Dontrell Wright, oh my goodness, so many musicians. Again, Tommy Phillips. Those guys are just amazing. You want to go back, you want to look up those names. These guys are amazing. The Noble Boys, Elton Noble. You just can't really say enough about the love, the spirit of each of the players wanting to just be there and play and talk about what their tunings, the type of things that they have going with what they do with their guitars. It was simply amazing. So needless to say, the camaraderie with the musicians, the being able to see all the musicians together was just empowering within itself. And let me, sidebar. We were in the state of Florida. And we were making history in the state of Florida. I wore my t-shirt, Black Music Matters, on that Friday of the event. And why this is such a historic event is because most of the steel players are black men. Yeah. We're making history, Governor. While the narrative is, to take black history out of colleges and universities and public schools and everywhere else, he wants to dispel our black history. We're making it, and we made it even this past Memorial Day weekend. I hope it sent a message, in your state. We're not going to stop. We're going to do it again next year. We're going to make more history next year. This is the kind of things that really need press attention. These stories, these bonds, all black men aren't in jail or shooting each other or killing each other. These guys embrace this art form of sacred steel, And there's such a love and a respectful camaraderie with each other that is experienced with each other, that they're able to share, play together, exemplify this common brotherhood with each other. That is just so moving. So that is another aspect of this weekend. That was so amazing. I think I touched on Chuck's testimony, and again, we were so happy to see Chuck Campbell. It was such a moving moment, when he showed up. We didn't know if he was coming or not, and we didn't know if he was going to be able to be with us, but he was there. He experienced a really hard setback early this year, and we were all rooting and praying for him. And to see Chuck not only there, but to see him playing was so heartfelt. And to hear his testimony, it impacted everyone that was there. So again, if you are in Florida, if you are in Alaska, if you are in Australia, I don't care where you're listening. If you're in Africa, you want to make sure that next year you are at the Sacred Steel Summit. And I promise you, you're going to come one way, but you're going to definitely leave another. It was an amazing, impactful event. It was heartfelt, and I can't say thank you enough to the Florida Folk Festival for having us, for Alvin Lee's heart and his passion and his drive, and the team of people to help put this event on with Alvin. I just want to say, if you weren't there this particular year, make plans to come next year. If you have some young musicians that are aspiring to play or to learn about the sacred steel art form, or just instrument on any level, bring them. Not only are you going to experience a lot of guitar players and steel guitar players and drummers, bass players, but you're going to see some heartfelt musicians who are just giving. And speaking of giving, we were able to give away some steel guitars. We were able to give away just some equipment to musicians who nonetheless did not have. And that was such an empowering thing to do. And for you sponsors that are looking to give back to those musicians, please contact us. You can go to our Facebook page and message us. Send us your contact information, your number, your email address. You can address myself, Dante Harmon, or Alvin Lee, and we'll make sure that someone will get in contact with you. We are looking for steel guitars. We're looking for guitars, bass guitars, drums, anything of that sort that we can give back to our young musicians that are really, really desperate to play and may not have the tools to play with. We want to give back. There's such an educational piece within this tradition that we want to keep alive. We're excited to be a part of something that is not only spiritual, not only sacred, but educational as well. So thank you for indulging me in having my first harmonic solo session of Dante's Harmony podcast, where I get to talk about what great time I had at our Sacred Steel Summit. So until next time, thank you for joining. And remember, trees don't eat their fruit.